Welcome back to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel presented by Connors and Ferris. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates. I am Jenna Cottrell. Before we get started, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. I had a day off. Subscribe to the podcast if you enjoy our content. I know, whatever.
Big.
All right,
Very
big
big
stuff going on today, though. First off, DAMAR Hamlin back. The team today, their first day of full pads out there, and DAMAR Hamlin, for the first time since he went down in that game in Cincinnati, getting to put on the full pads, getting to be out here. So much emotion today. I kind of wasn't expecting it as much. I don't know. But, Mike, today we got to hear from DAMAR after practice, and what a moment today was for him.
It really was. It's the way he processes things.
Yeah.
I think the guy is so transparent about what he's going through.
Yeah.
So he's dealing with telling you all these things that go through his head, but then also saying this is football and you got to be ready. So just picture yourself, picture what it is mentally for all these guys out there getting themselves ready to play. What DAMAR has gone through for his entire life. You get ready to play, but then he's got all this, all the fans yelling his name, people watching to see how it was.
Yeah.
Today was different. Substantially different. I think a game will be substantially different, but there was an element today, full pads, they do hit, there is contact, and it was a different type of day. It's the first time all these guys have put on pads since January. It's the first time he has since obviously that game in Cincinnati. So he's a really interesting guy to listen to with everything he's gone through, and the way he shares it with everybody, I think is an important part.
It's another milestone, you know what I'm saying? We've been getting over hurdles just from, everything as far as medical, getting out of the hospital to, getting off of tubes and getting off of stuff like that, you know what I mean? All the way to, running again, not having oxygen, all the way to practicing again, OTAs, putting a helmet on, putting my cleats on, putting my gloves on, putting my mouthpiece in, putting shoulder pads on, you know what I mean? So it's another hurdle. It's just another milestone as far as the journey, It's going to be a long journey, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, some of these emotions will never leave, Whenever everybody's not paying attention to me no more, I'll still be processing these emotions myself, and I know that. But, it's just another hurdle. It's another thing we got over. And I've been doing a good job at pushing myself to get through these tough things, you know what I'm saying? I never let myself just shy away from them, I've been putting myself in uncomfortable situations, but we grow in those situations, and what other, I kind of look at it like a challenge. Me and our head trainer, Nate Bresky, we talked about it like, he said he was a little bit jealous. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because when in life do we get to encounter challenges like this and overcome things like this? Not too many people get this level of overcoming something and being able to stand for so many good things. So, to be able to be a chosen one and to be able to be the one to overcome something so big, you know what I mean? It's a blessed space, and it's a bunch of opportunity in there as well if you choose to look at it that way.
I'm sitting there listening to him talk. We've heard him talk before. That none of this is new. We've seen him back on the field. He's made these steps. And I didn't know what he would say or wanted to say.
Yeah.
But again, Mike, you talk about honesty. Talking, one of the things that really stood out was he was like, yeah, it was a massive day. I almost died doing this. Almost lost my life doing this. Oh yeah. And I'm sitting there thinking, as he's opening up about his fears again, as we talk about a manly sport like football, and obviously there's mental health awareness.
Yeah.
Yes, to him to say I think about it. I think about it when I'm on the field. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't afraid, and that hasn't crossed my mind.
That first little moment of contact, that was just letting me know, it just felt alive, man. It felt like I'm here, I'm overcoming 1,000 and 1,000 and 1,000 of one's emotions, and I'm processing them all at one time. You know what I mean? While trying to focus and execute at the highest level in the world. You know what I mean? So, it felt good. It was just that moment of just all right, let's just settle in and let's just one play at a time. Let's just keep going.
Those kind of things putting into perspective. And to me, the one thing that was very interesting that stood out when we asked about, what's next? What's that next hurdle? How are these things going? And that progression. And he said there are days where he wishes he could crawl under a rock.
Man, sometimes it's normal don't exist. You know what I mean? But it's a blessed space. You know what I mean? It's a super blessed space. But to be able to do what I love again, that's kind of the normal thing. And my dad has been preaching just trying to make everything as normal as possible. But as far as my situation, it's a unique situation, and I have to, I will live with that forever. You know what I mean? I'll sit with that forever. But, you know, I try to keep things as normal as possible. Like I said, I wish I could do this process under a rock, you know what I'm saying, just to myself and pop out whenever I felt like I was super, super duper, you know, ready to be a Pro Bowler, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's power in being out here every day and doing my process in front of the world, you know. And I always wanted to stand for something bigger than myself. Was my goal my whole life. You know, I had goals within this game, but, you know, life goals, that was the biggest thing. I wanted to stand for something bigger than myself, and I have the opportunity to do that now, and I'm gonna fulfill that.
And there was a follow-up question along the lines of, well, why don't you do that? Or can you do that?
What made you choose to be so public about this?
And he goes, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Before I woke up, he was
The entire world.
he was the biggest name in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, and so to think about that, where you think about you work your whole life to become a star football player because of hard work and effort, and then because of some freak accident, terrifying moment of cardiac arrest, he is now above probably what he would ever be if he was a Pro Bowl safety.
Yeah.
Because of who he is. It's a fascinating story in every step of the way. He has been so candid and open. It's incredible.
That was something that stuck out to me too, because you empathize with him because this has all been so public. The first time he put on cleats, the first time he put on gloves, all this stuff. And he talked about today being another milestone of him feeling like himself, getting back out there. And he did. He said, you know, I would be lying if there wasn't fear. And I really appreciated that. And he said, I'm processing 1,000 emotions, and I'm not afraid to admit that. And I think that's another huge and important piece as well. And then this really stuck with me when he said, you know, his whole life he wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than himself. Probably not what he was expecting, but the way he's kind of become such a voice in terms of CPR and AEDs and how impactful that stuff can be. We got CPR trained because we felt influence of, you know, this would be a good thing to know. And I think that's a lot of people have done the same following suit.
Yeah, he's been a leader in that. And now he is transitioning to full-time football, which is something for him. But I think the guy is equipped for that. And we don't know how it's going to play out.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, I did ask him today about his teammates and communicating with the team, and I thought it was really interesting what he had to say about the way the other guys on the team respond to him.
I mean, my brothers do a good job checking on me and making sure I'm doing well, you know what I'm saying? And if they see anything off, nobody hesitates to come speak to me, have a one-on-one conversation with me, you know, but my brothers do a good job of, you know, checking on me mentally, and, you know, just keeping everything in perspective. You know, they really do a good job. So, you know, I feel like most at peace when I'm here, when I'm in Buffalo, when I'm with my teammates, and I'm back around this game. I get my most peace here.
And then I asked him afterward about what about Sean McDermott and the coaching staff, and he said, you know, they've had that communication.
Yeah.
He has it with them, and he certainly has it with the trainers, who he's like saying, these are my people for life.
Yeah.
They saved my life.
Yeah.
He has a special bond with them, which you can only imagine. So he is doing this constant check-in. But as a football player, guys, I look at him, he looks exactly the same as he looked last year when we were just looking at him as backup safety, now part-time starter, DAMAR Hamlin. He didn't look any different.
His family was there today, too, which I know it meant a lot to them to be there. But
The part where he talked about his little brother.
Oh, yeah.
He said that, he goes, it meant a lot to have his family there, all of those things. He goes, they were there during the darkest times. And he goes, his little brother was saying, he's in the hospital bed going, I'm faster than you right now. So
which is such a little brother move. I love it.
And they're out there playing today. They're playing catch. And then afterwards was like, well, is he still faster? And he's like, he will never be faster than me ever again. I will make sure of it. And again, that is that lightheartedness.
Yeah.
To make
you can
light
joke now.
Yes.
You can have fun in those moments because knowing
players
where
are
you're
trash
at.
talking him again.
Yes.
Yes.
Again,
that's a sign of normal.
Yes.
So I loved it.
All right, let's talk a little bit about what happened on the field today. Some good moments out there. You said, I saw your tweet about like Stephon Diggs. He has just been so dialed in. I feel like we've gotten to know Stephon over the years he's been with Buffalo, but this season, this summer, it feels different.
He looks like a man on fire. He is. I think my tweet talks about energy, intensity.
Yeah.
He's playing with his chip on the shoulder like people are overlooking him. He's not overlooked by any sense of the imagination as one of the best wide receivers in the game.
Yeah.
I don't think he liked what happened this offseason, the way that he's portrayed. He caught a touchdown in goal line. The media was the only one over there.
Yeah.
And he said, caught a pass and said, shut up, and then said it several times.
Did he add anything to that?
He did.
Yeah.
That we're not going to include in the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that was
Nice
just,
things, right?
Yeah. It seemed like it was a little bit towards everybody. I kind of phrased it in my tweet that he's playing with this extra sense. And again, after we talked to him, it was nobody's ever questioned my intensity. Nobody's ever questioned my work ethic. Nobody's ever questioned me as a teammate. I think he's taking those things very personally this year.
Yeah.
I had another thing that happened today, and I thought Taron Johnson had the best hit of the day. Solid. I mean, it's the kind of thing that you want your defensive back to like take a guy out.
Right
Now,
in front of us.
on the downside, he hit a guy, tall guy in a red jersey.
I think his number was 1-7, right?
I mean, we were standing right in front of this, and we all were like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. The play started developing, and we're like, "What are they doing?"
And I heard a couple of guys be like, "Well, he looked like he tried to pull up." I'm not saying he was trying to hurt Josh in any way,
No,
shape, or form.
yeah.
Real football took over for that moment, but he lit him up pretty good.
Yeah.
Hit him and then kind of landed on him.
Yeah. It looked like Josh got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah.
He said he was all right.
I think
but-
he was fine.
He was fine, but there was a few moments there
Yes.
where we were walking off the field with, I think it was one of the trainers, one of the coach's assistant, and we were all kind of laughing after Josh, after practice, went up to Taron, smiling, all these
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
But even he walked out and said, boy, the mood changed for a couple moments there. You think? We
Yeah.
were all going, what just happened?
Yeah. That was
I mean,
a little scary.
At this very place on the other field up there, years ago, Troy Vincent took out J.P. Lossman. And there was some maybe things behind that. J.P. not the most popular player.
Yeah.
It ended up being, it wasn't great. You can't hit the quarterbacks, whoever it is.
Yes.
Now, Josh may have been, we're not allowed to talk about strategy. He may not have been in the typical role of
Correct.
Leave it out.
Okay.
We're going to take this out.
We've seen him do it a
Yeah.
bunch of times in the games. Oh no, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
you could-
saying is, but then football takes over, even in the red jersey. But
Yeah.
you do have to be careful. This was none of that. I saw Taron talk to one of the other coaches, and he was like better day tomorrow. No, I don't know if they were specifically talking
Yeah.
about that play.
Yeah.
But Taron is a very
Yeah.
intense but thoughtful guy out here on the field. He is not trying to do it, but let's not run that sequence
play.
anymore.
Yes.
And let's stay away from
Why? What did
17.
they do? I think that's one of the first bleeps I'm gonna get, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you saw something right in front of you as well.
Yeah, the Kyer Elam and
Oh, you go back to
Stephon
Diggs.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go back
this-
to Diggs for a second.
Phenomenal. Again, I think we talked about it yesterday. I wish you could film more one-on-ones
Yeah.
of wide receivers
Yeah.
and cornerbacks. We're not allowed to film, so you have to take the words and make it up in your own
Paint the
mind.
picture yourself.
Yeah. A couple ones really stood out. I thought Trey White looked really good.
Yeah.
He knocked one away from Diggs, broke up a pass to Gabe Davis. All of those things were great. The two most interesting reps were against Stephon Diggs and Kyer Elam, who trash talked last year at training camp, and we all said, like, wow, the rookie's going at the veteran and things
Yeah.
like that. The first rep was a go route where Kyer appeared to be holding him, okay? Whether
Yeah.
or not there aren't refs here or things like that. But after the rep, John Butler, the Bills defensive backs coach, was like, oh, no, it was all good, Steph. Steph disagreed. They went back and forth.
Steph
Kyer
did not
Did he-
catch the ball.
did not catch the ball.
Do you think Steph disagreed in a very polite way to the coach?
Yes. And
Okay.
It was right over
Exactly
by
that.
our sidelines.
Yes.
Kyer was pretty excited. The defensive backs all cheering him on. Diggs didn't catch the pass. So then Diggs went to go up the next time, and Kyer jumped up in line. And I don't know if Diggs called him out or Kyer wanted another chance to shut down Diggs. Diggs ate his lunch and
Yeah.
hit him with a double move, caught the pass, and then flipped the ball to John Butler and then started celebrating quite a bit. And that's another thing where I'm seeing is that Diggs is taking everything personally. He's on another level
Yeah.
of this revenge tour that you talked about. It was the two most exciting reps I thought I saw today.
I would agree. I did think it was funny, too, in that first rep when Kyer was in coverage and Diggs wasn't able to catch the ball. Diggs was spouting off. He was really upset. And when Diggs turned his back to Kyer went like this. And
He
I was
did.
like,
He did give
that
him-
was, yeah. Like when he turned his back, you did that. I was
he
like,
waited for
Yeah.
Diggs to not look away. Then he was like,
really noted. Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. As to
Do,
say.
do we think Diggs had to watch The Last Dance, right? This is Michael Jordan kind of
This-
stuff that he's
100%,
doing.
yeah.
That
100%.
sort of, it doesn't matter if it's a drill 11 on 11.
Yeah.
I am going to torture you
Yes.
if you try to challenge
I
me.
love it.
It was
And
the
it's
same
good
way
for all of them.
Yeah.
He
oh,
caught a ball over
absolutely.
the middle, slid down in one of the drills, and did like a first down thing right in front of Micah Hyde.
Yeah.
Like, and then he picked the ball up, and then he had to go on and like get the drill,
Yeah.
rest of the drill going. But it's one of these things that, coupled with the end zone screaming emotion, kind
Yeah.
of headbutting his offensive players after the touchdown, It just seems like this training camp means a lot more to him than in years past. Again, he did say that he has more football behind him than in front of him. Maybe that's part of it.
Maybe he's savoring the moment. And maybe he had a little extra motivation as well. But I think you can see the passion. I mean, he's always been a passionate guy, though, but I feel like it's been just like turned up a notch or two.
And one other thing, everybody's looked at the numbers from the second half of last year. And it's easy to pin that on play calling, Josh's injury, all those things. But if you're Stephon Diggs, whatever the reason is, you are out to determine that you're not going to have that last 6 games of the season that you did. So, again, you can talk about all the other elements, but I think Diggs is figuring whatever's in my control is going to show on the field.
I was thinking about it, and I go, you never want to force the ball to anybody, right? That's like the quarterback job. You want to force it. And at times, I think we've agreed, Josh has tried to force the ball to Gabe. 40-something catches. He had 98 targets. That's not great. You can force the ball to Stephon.
Yeah, you can absolutely.
Like, there are a couple plays where he makes them, and other people were on the sidelines, and we go, well, I don't think anybody's stopping that. It's like, like it doesn't matter if it's Taron Johnson. It doesn't matter if it's Sauce Gardner. It doesn't matter if it's anybody. Some of the routes that Steph runs and the balls that Josh throws, they're unguardable.
Yeah.
The Eagles play where they just push forward with Hurts, and they say, well, it's
automatic.
Steph Diggs in those short spaces.
Unreal.
There is no way to guard that play.
No.
There is no way. If you get up tight on him, he's walking by you. If you don't, it's a catch. Now, not all of them are going to be bigger plays, but I'm watching him against it doesn't matter who. They even can know what he's doing. He's so good in the short spaces that it's unguardable.
The footwork, all that stuff, the route running. You did see, in terms of the defense, Taylor Rapp. Interception today, and he's a guy that I know a lot of Bills fans have been interested to hear about, considering, you have Micah Hyde, you have Jordan Poyer, but Taylor Rapp today making a flash. Yeah,
I just like the way the guy plays. I like his history, and I think he signed here. Look, it is 2 safeties in their 30s, but he signed a 1-year deal. This is a guy who played for 4 years with the Rams. He has been a good player. He seems to be around the football. That has been his history. I keep saying I see a role for him that's not going to be just sitting there as a backup safety, because backup safeties for this team until last year only really saw the playing field on special teams. And then last year we needed to see everybody who had ever played safety in their life get out on the field. Taylor Rapp's going to be on the field. He's too good of a player to not have him out there. They will find a role. And look, Sean McDermott, and Leslie Frazier was a guy who played in the secondary in the NFL, so he knows secondary play. But Sean McDermott it's what he's coached. He's coached linebacker, he's coached secondary. This team has been good with guys in the secondary. You don't bring that guy in without having a role for him. There's Hyde and Poyer. They're the front, but that guy is going to play.
I did like to see the pass breakup by Trey, going back to him really quick. It feels like Trey is getting back to what we know and have seen from him in the past.
The passes that are being completed, I know a bunch of people have asked, against Trey, like the 2 that Diggs caught, or 3 that Diggs caught yesterday at practice, they're phenomenal coverage. It's just a better throw and catch. Gabe Davis caught a ball over him today. And again, it's a couple of these ones where when the pass gets completed, Trey kind of puts his hands on his helmet going like, how? It's not because Trey's in the wrong position or Trey's gotten beaten or fallen down. It's just some of those unreal throws that Josh Allen has made. But I think Trey has looked more like himself.
I agree.
Also he seems lighter on his feet.
Yes.
I think he feels more confident. Even last year. I didn't think he was
himself.
Same chipper old self.
Completely.
No question.
He has lighter energy. Like, it's more like Trey. He's joking around.
Signs, a ton of autograms coming out to practice, which not a whole lot of players do.
Yeah, you see him with kids, like, hanging out, talking. Some of the coaches' kids, you could see him kind of razzing them. He brings that lightness and, like, that personality that we've seen, and I think that's been evident. And then his play, too. That is someone that I wanted to mention, because I just feel like it looks to be the Trey that we have seen in the years past, and hopefully it is for him. Hopefully we'll get to hear from him as well. But a guy we did hear from today, Eric Washington. And the defensive line coach, now going to be assistant coach, a bigger role for him. But he talked about specific guys, including Ed Oliver.
Yeah, I asked him about Ed. He said the guy has signed his deal, so is he different? And he's like, no, he's that guy, but I want him to play like a guy who's still trying to earn that contract, which I thought was great. But what he emphasized about all of his guys, including Ed, is winning before the snap. Understanding the leverage and the place you need to be, hand placement, all those things. It is so important. This is what takes some time in the NFL. I really believe that. These guys are physically gifted, and a lot of times those techniques they don't need in college.
Correct.
They use them a little
It's
bit.
just physical
They
ability.
don't
It's-
need
yes,
them.
it's
They
talent.
overpower
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
Ed has been a really good player. They need him to be a dominant force in the middle on a more consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric's point was, figure that out pre-snap. Now you're not trailing the play, you're leading the play is
Yeah.
basically what he said.
Yeah.
Do you know the quote? You're going to say the quote?
What are the answers to the test?
If they give you the answers to the test before the play, we got to know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very important.
He's really interesting to talk to.
Yeah.
And he was really good. He even talked about, Boogie Basham and AJ Epinesa. They know what they need to do and how they've been trying to become stronger and bigger before camp. Talking about Greg Rousseau and how he's seen that kind of cognition in
Yep.
terms of him understanding the defense. And he's seen him kind of really develop in these past 2 seasons and how this year at camp he just looks different in a good
Yeah.
way.
There is one player that Greg Rousseau does not tower over on defense. Malcolm Floyd.
Yes.
It was a test.
Oh,
Leonard,
I know.
Okay.
Can you believe he made this mistake?
It was a test.
that was a test. You
Leonard
didn't get
Floyd
the
is
answer.
big. He's
Leonard
tall.
Floyd is
Yeah.
very tall.
Yeah.
he
He
is.
may be on par with Greg.
It's kind of funny. It's
Which is crazy.
almost
That
but
is
it-
crazy.
It is
I
almost
didn't think he was quite as
Yep.
tall.
oddly almost under the radar, even though it was one of their bigger signings.
Yeah.
It was a late signing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
guy has been productive his entire career. He's stepping in here. Vaughn knows him. Vaughn knows everybody. Vaughn knows him. We're teammates. This is a guy who's produced in this league. So
Yeah.
the thought would be that he could do that. And then the idea is get him going. But back to the other point about Basham and Epinesa, look, the chances are running out. They
Oh,
got to
yeah.
also know it's desperation time.
You got to
now.
do something.
There's no roster spots guaranteed
No.
for any of these guys
No.
now when they get to this point. So maybe it is. Maybe this is when it clicks. It's going to need to, because otherwise they may be on another team, at least one of them.
You got to earn it. This team
Yep.
is good. There's going to be cuts. You got to put yourself in a position to make it. So, all
Mm-hmm.
right, anything else, gentlemen?
No.
No.
No. All right. Another day of camp tomorrow coming up. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast, to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel,
Buffalo Plus Store.
Buffalo Plus BuffaloPlusStore.com. Check it out. We have a bunch of merch.
Yep.
Koozies, mugs.
And if you're
Comment
at
in with some questions. Again,
Yeah, that'd
we
be-
have
yeah.
seen some questions in the comments, things like that, but we'll record another pod coming up shortly.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll answer some more questions about what you people what you would like to know about
you don't
if you
need to
haven't been here.
insult them.
and if you're
You people.
a couple of things. Please tell other people about this podcast. We
Yeah,
love it.
if you enjoy
and
it,
if you
yeah.
see us, this would be the setting.
Hi,
we
Mary.
love talking to everybody.
Also, if you okay, this is really embarrassing,
Yeah.
but like sometimes people will be like, "Oh, Jenna," and you're probably the same way.
They don't say
really.
Jenna.
They don't say Jenna to me either.
Oh, well, you know what I mean. I just am very awkward sometimes. It's not that I don't appreciate it. I just am awkward as a human.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not all Catalana.
We're not all Mike
We're not all the
Catalana.
mayor of Rochester. So a
Yeah.
lot of times it's a ha and
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, I'm like,
it's,
oh my
it's a
God.
wave and a
Yeah, and it's
that's
not.
media
Yeah,
play.
we appreciate it so
it.
much. It's just in the fabric
Yeah.
of who we are. I am awkward. So
Yeah, Jenna wants extra attention.
No,
Just
don't
let
you
her know.
dare. Also, yeah, no, don't do that. We all can't be Mike Catalana.
Yeah.
All right, for Mike Catalana and Dan Fates, I'm Jenna Cottrell. Thanks for joining us. Catch us next time here on Buffalo Plus.